What's up, men? Welcome to the channel. Lots of takeaways from the last preseason game. I think the refs exposed some weakness in our offensive line, but we're not going to blame the refs. On this team, we're going to take the game out of the refs' hands by doing what we're supposed to do on the field and never blame a ref. So we see Xavier Reed becoming a major part of the rushing attack, doing a lot of the carrying that got our team over 200 yards rushing in several games during this preseason game. And the only concern I have about Xavier Reed is his ability to hang on to the ball. Seen a couple fumbles from the rushing core. I know he was among them. Calais Campbell, a standout. No shortcomings there, but as far as running the ball goes, I gotta hope that Xavier Reed is able to kind of pick it up and realize his main responsibility as a ball runner is to hang on to the ball. So haven't seen too many problems out of him, or else he would still be in starting contention, but just as something that I've noticed in preseason that we've got to continue to work on. And on the trade front, real quiet. Not as many trades coming and going as I liked. The Dornbow trade was good, but no value whatsoever for Matt Leinart, and I don't know what we're going to do with him, but I don't know if he's going to make it this season as third quarterback. Perhaps, but I just don't know. And Chauncey Langston has really been the surprise for us. The way he's passing the ball has been unbelievable. 5 touchdowns to 1 interception here in the preseason game. And that 1 interception was nearly a touchdown just inside of the end zone. So he really was close to 6 touchdowns. And he's been fairly efficient with the ball. 70% completion percentage. Tyler Thigpen has done a fine job as backup. 21 out of 25 passes completed. We've put the bulk of running on Xavier Reed's shoulders, and he's done a great job. He's finding the end zone. So he's got one of 2 fumbles. The other one goes to Anthony Thomas. But ultimately, I like what I've seen out of Xavier Reed. He's actually been tougher than expected. And he finds a way to get upfield with that ball, which we're going to need to be successful. Anquan Bolden, a leading receiver who's been ever present, and his hands are as sticky as they come when it's time to catch football. Calais Campbell, a major threat for us at the defensive line position, and Carlos Dansby backing him up at the linebacker source. We've got a real tough defense. That's the part of the team I feel most confident about is our defense and guys like Kenny stepping up. And we've got Adrian. Bertrand Berry has really put it all on the line to earn a spot on the team. I can't say that he hasn't earned a spot on the team with his play. I'm just worried about his overall health going forward, but ultimately he's a guy that's been a standout and is going to be on the starting front come week 1. The punting game and kicking game have been mostly okay. Let's take a quick look at major injuries for this period in the preseason. And I look at our overall approval rating. Fans don't love it so much, couldn't care less, but the staff and players, we're falling in line with that. I'm enjoying what we've come up with the staff so far, hoping that continues. And a quick look at the Broncos scouting report shows they like to pass the ball. We're most concerned with things that happen on 1st and long and 3rd and short. That's where most of the bread and butter is going to be made. And they like to run the ball on 3rd and short. So we traded Edgerrin James to the Broncos for some value that we liked better. And he's having a pretty good preseason so far. But ultimately, I feel like we've got the better of them in the running department. And Brandon Marshall is a standout player for them. But I feel like our defense we can seal up just about any receiver is how I'm feeling at this time with the bend but don't break system of defense. So now it's time to make some cuts going into the next game with a cut day coming up. 59 current players on the roster. We need to get down to about 52. So with 7 positions to cut, we're going to move forward, cutting as many as we know today, and if there are a few left over, we'll make those cuts at that time. I like what I've seen out of the offensive line, although I'm concerned about our ability to stay healthy early on in the season. Rocky Calmus hasn't really shown me anything here in the preseason. His time as a Cardinal is over. So Aaron Francisco is another fringe player who managed to survive another couple of weeks, moving from strong safety to cornerback. But at the same time, we've got an issue at free safety where we've got more free safeties than we will bring into this regular season. And really it comes down to whether Antrell Roll is going to be moving or whether it's Dennis Keys that's going to be moving. You know, Antrell Roll's got the large contract and good athleticism. But ultimately, I find that the biggest problems are in the man coverage area. He's more of a physical player, but he doesn't give us any ability in the secondary to maintain cover, which is something that's going to be frustrating for us if we don't deal with it. So, good physical specs. And the one thing that probably saves Antrell Roll for this moment is that massive salary cap penalty. So instead, Dennis Keys enters the competition at cornerback. So the coach gets an idea to enhance the competition at backup cornerback between Aaron Francisco, Mentor, and Dennis Keys. As we're scrolling around the roster, though, we're starting to see a lot of names that we don't want to lose. A lot of guys that we're satisfied with to go into the regular season with. Mike Gandy is a guy that's really appears to be injury prone. And so just taking a quick look at injury ratings for the players on this team, and Reggie Wells, man, oh man, this guy he's a glass ankle. But ultimately, I don't think we've got the most hardy offensive line, and that could come back to haunt us. Stockton McDougal's a guy who I haven't even seen on the field, not one time this year. And so because of that, I'm going to have to put him back out there for him to deal with another team. But he hasn't proven himself at all here, so he's not going to be starting on this team. Solid at the linebacking core. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The one standout for me in a negative way is Travis LeBoy, who after starting the last game came up with 1 tackle. He's got no trade value at this time. And the most likely option seems to release him. But look at that cap penalty. $5 million in penalties for releasing Travis LeBoy, a guy who made 1 tackle in his first starting preseason game. But after taking a look around the linebacking core, seeing a lot of positions that we feel comfortable with, LeBoy is the standout for the wrong reasons. And unfortunately for him, that's it. So we're moving closer and closer towards that regular season roster. It's becoming harder to find a player that just appears to be a fringe player that's easily cut. We're real deep at running back, and so obviously that's a place where we'll be looking to make another cut. Anthony Thomas, pretty successful here in the preseason. I hope it continues to regular season. And same with Xavier Reed. J.J. Arrington is kind of a guy that, in spite of his change of speed that he offers, we're not able to He's not a guy that we're able to rely on for that full workhorse carry, but I do like the change of speed that he offers. And then we've got guys like Marcel Shipp, who's just a hardworking guy, good for five to 10 rushes a game, and Ron Dane about the same. But Ron Dane at the goal line is a guy that I know we can count on. And J.J. Arrington, I just don't know if he has the physicality to really make a difference other than the change of speed. And if we're looking at Arrington as a change of speed player, then we could probably look at Xavier Reed as the same position. In spite of only being 44 and his learning ability rating, he's done a real good job picking up the playbook. That's J.J. Arrington. But unfortunately, at this time, we're going to have to cut J.J. Arrington. This is the toughest cut of the preseason so far, just because of the speed that he offers, the change of direction. And so, sad to see him go, but I know he'll probably find an opportunity somewhere else. And if not, it may be a situation in the future due to injury where we're able to look at him again. So that means the running attack is a little slower than it was before. But ultimately, as the team starts to take shape, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and we're prepared to move forward. So Carlos Dansby, Adrian Wilson, Darnell Dockett, these are all guys that are going to be impact players for us this year. And Dennis Keys moves over to cornerback and appears to take to it like a duck to water, really putting Aaron Francisco on the fringe at cornerback. And Aaron Francisco is quite a physical player, not very fast, not a terrific cover man. And all of these things would put him on the fringe versus a rookie player. So anything that could cause Aaron Francisco to stand out, we'd look for. But unfortunately, he really just appears average. And, with him already having some time in the NFL under his belt and not really being a standout in that way, unfortunately, we're going to have to look for youth to develop under our coaching regime. So that puts Aaron Francisco out the door, and we get closer to that 52-man roster. I'd like to see some improvements at tight end. I don't know that that's going to happen until the draft, though. And so cut day comes and it goes, with all cuts already having been made. We skip through this part in the process. Ultimately, I'm okay with what I've seen out of backup quarterback Tyler Thigpen. I don't know that I'd want him as a starter, but I'll make him and Leinart battle for any emergency starter positions that come up. Dominic Cromartie has been a really good talent for us so far. But of course, we're going to emphasize Chauncey Lancaster's value to the team in this next rookie training. And the practice recap is going to be filled with power, running, style offenses, and play actions, slant plays, which he does very well with. And we've got the team to accommodate that. And, a quick look at free agent quarterbacks, because I'm not sure that we've completely solved our issue there, but ultimately I'm more satisfied with who we've got at quarterback than who I see in the free agency. And Victor Abiamiri is coming back into free agency looking for a new deal. So we stepped into it, but free agency value for him is a little too high. And so it looks like he's actually going to be signing to Denver. So we'll have to see what Denver got for value out of him in our next preseason game. 2 days to Denver, taking a quick look at the fatigue and health reports, with certain guys chronically on the fatigue list, like Ron Dane, nothing to worry about there. Bertrand Berry, a guy that's playing injured all the time. We'll have to see how that holds up over the course of a season. And a trade offer for a outside linebacker, which is Brian Thomas. So seeing that that's an area that we're always looking to upgrade, we'll take a quick look. Ultimately, in this deal, I didn't mind the most value I would look for in this trade is the 7th and 5th picks. I would prefer a 7th and 6th pick to offer and see what they would say to that. At this time, we don't need a linebacker that badly, so we'll go ahead and decline to continue with that trade. And looking at a potential signing for the future and Fred Matua, a large guard who's going to need to replace some players on the offensive line that we have that may or may not survive in terms of durability over the course of this season. So another rookie training period passes. So the coaching staff is an area with some weakness. Obviously, our offensive line coach is one of the best in the game, if not the best offensive line coach in the entire game. But for the rest of this training staff, we've got plenty of mediocrity. So Coach Power Slam is going to be developing and John Darmbos comes up with an injury, unfortunate injury that could really hurt our offensive line. So, going to be looking at the trainer sideways after your starting center goes down with an injury that could last up to 8 weeks. With one day to Denver, taking a look at the game plan against. With one day to Denver, things are coming together. And I'm really liking the way the team looks now, although I would like to go into free agency and see if we can pick up a fast player who's got a ball carryability to make up for some of the power that we've got, even if that means giving up a guy like Anthony Thomas in terms of trying to recruit more speed. So the Cardinals are flying high through 3 preseason games. We've turned up some problems to continue solving, but I have no doubt in our ability to fix those. Stockton McDougal back on the free agency. He's still got trade value. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with another one soon. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace.